and I thought it would be a good idea to have him talk with you so he can understand a little bit about his goals and objectives for doing better SEO techniques and digital marketing techniques when he's doing his blogging. Um, he's just starting out building his business, so I thought maybe you could help kickstart him a little bit by giving him some ideas on what he can do to increase his marketing and make sure if he is doing blogging, he's doing it the right way and for the most bang for your buck.
Sounds great.
Okay, let me go help him real quick and see if I can get him on. Hang on just a second.
Okay.
He appears to be in the webinar. So when they're
Well, I was going to look on the webinar first.
oh, here we go. Hold on. But he's unable to hear. I see him muted button here.
Click the muted button.
Click it.
And wait a second after you click it.
Okay.
Okay, just wait for it. It's doing that dots. It's working out.
I see. Okay. That's weird because I tested these because the music was playing, but
Here's that.
should I sign out?
Yeah, that's
Yeah. Try again.
game. Start again.
Okay.
Just while it's doing that, it's working out.
Okay. Yeah.
So we tune both of those.
I'm not hearing either.
You have your speakers hooked up by any chance?
Yeah, dude. But now I need to switch those back, right?
Yeah.
So go playback devices,
Yep.
and then go.
Have you on board, so this is fun stuff. All right, so I'm going to cheat a little bit here, and I'm going to use a PowerPoint for a different client of ours, one of our manufacturer clients, but it's all the same.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's the same. So if we can start off with you telling me a little bit about your technical experience, marketing experience. What have you done that's worked really well? What have you not done? What are you interested in? in learning more about, that would be great.
Yeah, well, this is all pretty new to me. I have been in a sales position of some sort since I graduated from school. So, and I've been a part of teams where my goal and my focus is to go sell, 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 and I have, teams of people behind me that are taking care of things like marketing and putting together collateral for me to use in sales meetings. So this is all really kind of all new to me. But my biggest goal is to learn how to kind of build my brand, market myself, market my brand, and use that as a platform for growing my business as it relates to real estate.
Fantastic. Very, very good. Have you networked with other agents and heard stories on what they do that works, doesn't work, and so forth? Any preconceived
Yeah,
ideas?
yeah. Every day I try and come into the office here with Kevin and Linda, and they are a wealth of knowledge, a lot of which they've learned from you, I'm sure. But I literally have the opportunity to just kind of sit in here every day and just listen to Kevin and Linda interact and the things they talk about, and I can kind of bounce questions and ideas off them, and they're really, really good at providing me with feedback. Um, Kevin and Linda seem to be against paying for some of the things that I know a lot of other agents go and spend a ton of money on,
Hmm.
and I'm also not. I just think that there's so many ways out there that you can do the things that I mentioned earlier about building your brand and gain new customers and new clients, without having to fork out a ton of money, paying for leads.
Yeah,
But again, this is all pretty new to me, so.
very good. Okay, so I would completely agree. I'm a speaker, so I stand on stage and ask audiences across the nation continuously, as a consumer, how do you buy? And that's
Right.
question is, as a consumer, that's what matters most. All the marketing agencies and all that. I'd rather listen to a group of soccer moms before I listen to an advertising agency any day tell me how they buy. And that's what it boils down to. In any audience, you're looking at, if I was to ask them, how many of them have made a purchase or hired a new company or sought off a new product or service from radio, television, ads, pay per click, advertisements, door flyers, door hangers, mailers, flyers. You're looking at less than 1% of the audience has made one or two purchases through the entire year. And usually it's the two ladies sitting in the back row who bought a, handbag on the shopping channel at 2 o'clock in the morning after a couple glasses too many of wine.
Yeah,
Really,
totally.
it boils down to people buy two ways. One, they do research on the internet. Two, they ask their friends. And when they ask their friends, they go back and do more research on the internet. So
Yeah.
that's it. If you can bucket 100% of your effort into those two things, building your network, generating referrals, and then properly positioning your name, the company name, your combined brand together, so that if you have Mary, who's a friend of yours, refer you to Tom, and Tom goes and Googles your name, that you've got a good presence, and that's what's most important. So if somebody's doing searches, obviously. Um, your personal name, if somebody's looking for you, you want to make sure that very clearly, without a doubt, because you're an agent, and this works for most sales positions. If somebody's Googling your name, what does it look like? So I'm actually, I'll show you mine. There's 549,000 pages inside the drawer, Google's drawer, for the phrase Jennifer Bagley. So as you go down, you'll see it's a combination of my own personal website, my own personal site, company site, Facebook, Facebook, Facebook. This one is not mine, then my Twitter account, my LinkedIn account, and then as you continue
Right.
down, it'll be the same thing, uh, Twitter and so forth. So you have directory engines, you have local listing sites, you have your own company's websites, which we're working on those right now, and your own site. And that's all of those things combined is going to give you an opportunity, as long as you're active on them, to brand your name. Your name is the first and most important brand to protect, simply because that's your number one asset, which is your referral business.
Right.
So let me just Brandon, right?
Actually, it's Brendon.
E-N,
Brendan. Yeah.
Brendan, and spell your last name.
Meyer. Meyer.
Okay. So you have an IMDb, so you have about the same number of pages, a little bit less, 517,000 pages inside this door. You've got an actor,
Hmm.
which your IMDb account, a Wikipedia, and then it gets into some others. Is this your site? Nope,
No, that's not. No.
one of Myers. Then you've got, this is local because of my mom,
Yeah.
Facebook, Myers official. So this is going to be a little tough because IMDb is a big site, but there's no reason it
Yeah.
can't start showing up right around here, which would
Right.
be in the top half. Um, Luckily, your parents were somewhat creative in your name spelling, because that's better than getting stuck on the same search.
Oh, for sure.
So very good. Okay, so that's first. Um, as you are creating blog content, especially on the Special Agents Realty websites. Now you've got specialagentsrealty.com, you have seattlehouseboat.com, you've got coming soon, you have lakeunionliving.com. You also have Seattle Real Estate Market, which is a new website that we're working on. So those sites, if you're generating content for those, I'll teach you some optimization things that can help you acquire some new space. Those are all really powerful websites. They've got a lot of time online. They have a lot of backlinks. We've got a good SEO program that just started on those. And so those can really help you occupy this space.
Yeah.
And it is quite possible that you beat the IMDb account. That's not that difficult to do. It's just going to take a little bit of effort from a content standpoint.
Sure.
Okay. Um, what about your social media account? What are you doing on Facebook as it stands now?
Since I started working with Kevin and Linda, I have been really, really active, making sure that I'm posting, new listings or listing updates or open houses, or fun and relevant articles as it pertains to real estate, just to make sure that my name is out there in front of all my friends and family, and reminding them, trying to give them helpful things that they can use. If they're starting to think about doing anything with real estate.
Okay. YAR.
And I'm right there at the top, actually.
This one. Okay. Good, 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 good. So, just on the social media side, I'm going to give you a couple things. Uh,
Hmm.
this is the list of 5 don't do's, and it's going to
Okay.
be stuck. And it's okay if you're going to pick breaking the rule. Pick one. Um, so no politics, no
Yep.
no religion, no sex, no sports, and no negativity. So
Okay.
those are the 5. The one that I say, if you're gonna break the rule, the only one you could really break the rule with and get away with it would be sports, because you're local and you have a local business. As long as you're okay with possibly losing potential business if they're not a Seahawks fan, you're golden.
Okay.
So the challenge with those, and you can actually play that to your advantage. If you were a national business, I would definitely say no sports, just because 50% of your audience, and in the sports world, it's like, how many teams are there? You have a huge percentage of your audience that's going to disagree with whatever your thoughts are, good, bad, or indifferent,
Yeah.
and you just won't change their mind. So anything you can do to stay away uh, from those, the better.
Cool. Okay.
Okay. As far as your branding, so on your Facebook account, your personal account is always going to do more for you than doing a fan page. So
Hmm.
I wouldn't worry about doing a fan page, but your cover page banner can really play as a good tool for you. So What you may want to do is have a handful of banners designed that you can interchange randomly. Let me see if I can find my. So, like this is sometimes I'll have this, I've got 56,000 likes. This is a fan page, not a personal page. But this cover photo, sometimes I'll change it out and I'll use, more of a branded kind of a little bit salesy. Sometimes it'll be creative. Sometimes it'll be business. Sometimes it's personal and so forth. But really, you want to try and throw in a little bit of branding using your cover page. So I may do something like, if it's a keynote presentation or breast cancer awareness, sometimes it's a quote, but you want to start really trying to make more of a professional, like this is my core brand right here.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to leave it up all the time. You want to rotate it, make it more personal, but every, week or so, throw in something that is, and oh, by the way, I greatly appreciate your referrals. And then it says Brandon Meyer, Seattle real estate broker.
I like that.
Okay. And then, leave a phone number or something on there. So
I
these
like that a lot.
are some examples. But throw it out there. I mean, you got to ask for the business or it's not going to come. And that's something that's pretty static.
Cool. Okay.
Getting those banners designed, we'll do one for you complimentary. And then if you want to have us design a bunch of different ones, we can always do that as well. It's not expensive, especially because of who you're with. You have
Yeah.
a lot better, uh, you know, opportunities than most. Say that.
Cool.
I'm recording this, so I'm not throwing everything out there. So little stuff like this, this is on my personal page. So I just took my business card, laid it on a graphic from the marina, the boat show we went to. Same thing with one of our websites. Just small little creative things you can do as well. You can take your business card. You could have a house that has a for sale sign sitting right here. Blur out the back
Knock, knock.
and just make your
Is that you, Kevin?
Yes.
hi.
Nice.
Way to make it
Hi
grand.
there.
So Brandon, just like this, you can do just simple creative things. This doesn't take any design work to do, but it's creative. It puts all your information out there, and it's different.
I like it. That's a really, really cool photo, actually, Jen.
Thanks. So, okay,
She gets all her photo skills from me.
Mm-hmm.
that is very true. That is very, very true.
We're always competing on our photos.
Yeah, we try to enjoy any event. Well, other people think we don't enjoy it, but we love photography. So that's so that's, I may leave this up here for 3 or 4 days and then I'll switch it out to something that's fun and more personal. And then I'll put up something that's more professional as well. So you want to build a library using your Facebook covers. Um, if you ask why people choose to do business with someone, it starts with they want to know how much you care. Then they want to know how much you know. So you can't get away with
Right.
and making it seem like an advertisement, or all they do is think that it's all about what you know and not not that you care. Because ultimately, it boils down to one thing, and that's the consumer.
Sure.
Um, okay. All right. Let's roll through uh, kind of some SEO techniques because content writing is going to be a big deal to start acquiring more real estate online, and
Yes.
you need more. You need a lot more. Um,
Yeah, I know. We definitely do.
so one of the things, and I don't know if they've covered this with you, but on the special agents realty site, if you were going to invest in something, on all of their websites, we have installed a scheduling system. It's $50 a month. To me, It's worth it, hands down. And it protects your assets. You know, you're going to be blogging and adding content to the site. If somebody knows you or read your article and they specifically want to work with you, having them have the ability to go in here and to request to schedule time with you, this will save you a tremendous amount of time.
Hmm.
The bloody lifesaver.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. To me, this is one FTE. It's a full-time resource, and I couldn't live without it. There's no way. It's my lifeline depends on the scheduling system. It manages all of my appointment requests, reschedules, reminders, has a CRM system, keeps track of my database, all in one shot. And it saves, literally, if you're handing out your business card, all you're doing is saying, if you just go to our website, choose my name, you can schedule time with me and we can talk about your listing. We can go over your comparative market analysis. We can talk about the house you want to buy, get your specs, whatever that is. So as soon as you can and decide, you should definitely get set up with an account on the scheduling system because that'll float across all of the different websites that are out there.
Okay.
All right, now blogging. So I'm not going to go 100% over SEO, but just to kind of give you an idea, search engine optimization is essentially the process of getting you ranked on Google for a specific key phrase. So, a lot of this, Kevin and Linda are taking care of for you by using our company from a technology standpoint and for some of the keyword optimization, but really it boils down to you got to have content in order to make this thing, in order to make it work. Um, this is what your head will eventually look like. So when you are thinking about writing an article, you want to think about what are other people looking for and how are you going to get found. So let's say if it was houseboat on Lake Union, for example. So for this particular phrase, getting the basics down of what kind of competition this is first and foremost most important. So for that phrase, there are 6.61 million pages inside this drawer. My parents happen to be number one of 6.6 million. On Google's listings, which is here, also on organic because they own Lake Union Living, Seattle Houseboat, Seattle Houseboat again, and even the VRBO site and blah, blah, and blah are far below them.
Yeah.
So that's a great.
That's incredible.
Yeah, they're killing it. And we have, Dad, what are the phrases that are our priorities right now?
Oh, we went really basic, like Seattle Houseboat and Seattle Floating Home. So we went with the super high competition, which is really hard to get up into the top ranking.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to do it because the only competition we have in Seattle for that top ranking words or those phrases are essentially Cooper Jacobs and Rick Miner Duckin and maybe Enrico, and that's really our only major competition. So with a concerted effort by CI Web Group, they should be able to get those phrases to the top on all Google searches.
Wow.
So
That's so cool.
the goal would be is that I don't just, you guys are already ranking on page one for those. Now we need to remove the phrase competition because technically in my mind, none of those three are competition for you at all. It's just a matter of repositioning their websites on page two and they don't exist at that point.
Yeah.
One of the things she's doing to facilitate that is we're developing other websites. So you see Lake Union Living and Seattle Houseboat are 1, 2, and 3. Well, if we have Seattle Real Estate Market as number 2, if we can push that up, we can add Lake Washington Living. We just grabbed SeattleCityLiving.com. If we can push those and get those to take over all of those sites, then when somebody clicks on Google, the only thing they're going to see is us.
Right.
And
That's incredible.
Without going to page 2.
they're not going to go to page 2, so I wouldn't even worry about that. We're going to make those other companies disappear. So basically, for one website, you can technically, with relative ease, I'll say, concerted effort on both sides, we could occupy position 1, 2, and 3 with Lake Union Living, position 4, 5, and 6 with Seattle Houseboat, 7, 8, and 9 with Special Agents, and 10, 11, and 12 with Seattle Real Estate Market. That site's going to take a little bit longer because it's so new. But you can get 3 listings. So in order to get 3 listings, the very first thing is when you create an article, you want to front load your key phrases, which means the article title needs to be houseboat or houseboats for sale on Lake Union, or houseboat on Lake Union, and then you would make the title for sale. So I'm going to create a doc for you, and we'll just create your guys' article titles right now.
Okay.
Okay, so when you're creating articles from an SEO standpoint, you want to think very literal, not creative. When you're creating content for social media, you want to think very creative and not literal, unless you're on Google Plus or YouTube. So all of the efforts you spend on your Facebook and Twitter account, technically those efforts last for a matter of seconds and then they're gone. If you create content that goes on Google Plus or on YouTube, those are permanent assets for your business that grow and occupy space over time. So they're actually indexable by Google, where the content you post on your Facebook account, the only people that are going to see it is about 20% of your network, the people who like
Right.
or are friends with you. And that's if you post at the exact right time when they're on Facebook and it happens to show up in their feed within the first, 3 items that are on their feed, maybe 10.
Right.
Okay. So when it comes down to marketing, you have permanent assets versus, so permanent, uh, so you have permanent asset and with compounding interest impacts on your business, and then you have temporary. So temporary is going to be Facebook, Twitter, and so forth.
Sorry.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Blogging is permanent. YouTube, permanent. Google Plus, permanent. So for permanent assets with compounding interest, that means the longer they've been online, the older they are, the more beneficial they are to your business. So if I create a video today, that video 3 years from now is going to have 1,000 hits instead of 100 hits. If you create a Facebook post today, it's gone tomorrow. It has no value.
Right.
Okay, so when you're allocating your time, 80-20. Always focus on, or try, at least spend 80% of your marketing time creating things that are going to be permanent assets. So this would also include relationship building. So this is essentially, if you focus on these things and forget everything else, this would be PPC, advertising, mailers, flyers, all of those things. They all fit in the junk area.
Open houses, etc.
Yes. The difference between these, those are temporary, but they are with real connections. So they have a higher value
And you would be amazing at it then.
than
If I would sell the
advertising
houseboat, I would sell the houseboat for 170,000
slash
separate
outbound
pieces.
marketing.
So you have to think in terms of that. And if you were to do
These
that,
are outbound
put 50 to 60,000
marketing.
into it.
So outbound marketing is simply you're throwing it over the fence, get on your knees, pray to the marketing gods that it returns a new client to
You
you.
could strip it off
Uh,
the wall and remove the
and
fee.
usually you're looking at possibly a 1% return on your effort.
Be able to determine the amount. But if it's just something
Make
you
sense?
want to come,
Yep.
put it up,
Okay.
fix the inside, whatever.
All right. Very, very good. So this is the bulk of where you want to spend your time. This is secondary, but they're still important because they're with real connections. And this is outbound. You're throwing something over a moat, seeing if
Combination
it
is just
sticks.
kind of
And I'm just going to say, just stop.
I actually have a listing broker doing that. What
These are also paying, buying leads,
and she didn't know anything
Yep.
about houseboats.
anything like that.
She was to co-list with me so
Okay.
I could help with the houseboat side.
All right. So now we'll go blogging. So we're creating permanent assets.
Weekly sales tax of 9.6 on only
So
listing
houseboat
one
tours, houseboat
house type.
on Lake Union for
Because
sale.
there's
Houseboat.
actually occupational and then private tax on
So an
this.
important thing to note there, Brendan, is that she has the first houseboat is not the proper spelling, but it's not unusual for people to type it in that way.
Right.
So it still has a benefit.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Google doesn't even correct you.
So would I in a blog post, would I use both ways to spell that in my blog post? One in one paragraph, I could have it houseboat one word, and then in another one have it as two. Is that going to help us with SEO at all, or?
You actually want to, so for each article, you want one phrase, one thought, which means you're going to identify what your primary phrase is for a particular article. And then this is going to be one geolocation. So you would actually, if you think about it as far as diluting your efforts, every time you create multiple variations of something within one article, you're actually diluting the power of that article. The more specific it is and the more focused it is, the more power is going to be behind that article because it's easier for Google to file. So if you think about Google has to take a piece of paper, okay, and this piece of paper is titled Seattle Houseboats, and it has to put it into a drawer based on what people are searching for. So the title of this site is Lake Union Living, Seattle Houseboats, Seattle Waterfront, and then it says dot dot dot, which means it's got too many characters in it. So
Right.
this is your title. You only have 60 characters. So you have article, title, and I would say stay at 45 to 55 characters. You have the body of your content, which needs to be at a minimum of 300 characters. Inside the content, the body of your content, you need to use your primary phrase a minimum of once per 100 words. So 3 times, but 3 to 5 times would be best. You
Now
also
you said the body content should be at a minimum of 300 characters. Is that correct, or did you say a maximum?
300 to 500 would be kind of that's your minimum. If it's under 300, it's not really indexable. It's not going to get picked up or used.
Okay.
The optimal is 1500, which is a lot of
Okay.
content to write. So a lot of times what you'll want to do is you want to kind of focus on volume. So let's say you write 5 articles that are all 300 to 500 words. Those articles go in, and they're all based on the key phrases that are in your SEO plan. My dad will give you the links to or the list of what those phrases are.
Okay.
Okay. What you'd want to do is start off with 5 really well written articles that are 300 to 500 words for those particular phrases. Then stop what you're doing, go back to the articles, and it would be better for you to spend time improving those articles and building them up to the 1500 versus pumping out another 5 articles.
Okay.
Okay. And then you would go back and you would start on another handful of articles. So you want really, really quality articles. The more quality the articles are, the more likely they're going to get picked up and referenced as, and you'll be building backlinks naturally or organically, which means the article, this is typically going to be list items, top 10, top 5s. So let me give you some ideas. This might be how-tos. Oops. Think. What to avoid. So the kinds of articles you'd want to do would be, so you'd say, remember to front load your key phrases. So you would say houseboats for sale. And you would say top 10 things to consider
On which ones, Skinny Mini?
before buying. For example.
Oh, the new one coming up on the market.
Cool.
So by setting
Okay.
you up.
So when you write articles that are lists, I saw a blog article you did recently, and it was why I don't want to live on a houseboat, and it was absolutely awesome. By the way, I read the article. I changed
Oh,
the
thanks.
title and I edited a couple things in it. But other than that, that was a really, really great article. It was a big list item. So the only thing that I would have done different on that one is I would have put a heading, an H2, which is a heading 2 tag, above each list item. That includes your primary phrase. So I would
Okay.
houseboats for or houseboat for sale. Or have to get to know your right.
Yep.
Um, like that.
Right. Okay. And literally title each one of those bullet points in my article with houseboats for sale,
Yep.
and then
Like
okay.
that's
Okay.
outside of that. There's not much I would have done different. If you take that same article and you title it right on, your post title and your headings above each one of those was like this, that's a perfect article, perfect length, perfect, and everything else is perfect. It's creative, it's interesting, it's funny. Your article is actually really good for social media and for SEO, and there are very few people who can write like that.
And then throw some pictures in to get some attention.
You got to get some.
Yes, I
Yep.
will. I'm working on pictures now, and then we can get that published. And I would like to ideally be able to do. Linda, did you say 5 articles a month like that?
Yeah, at least once a week, I think.
4 to 5 a month.
Yeah,
And
and one of the things I think we should do is just time block out, if each of us is writing one thing a week, that's not a lot of effort that it takes to write one article in a week. I mean, now we're doing 3 articles a week. We're going to be pounding it.
Yeah. Well, and especially as I'm building my business, I have so much more time on my hands than Kevin and Linda do to get in there and write. And I am a good writer. That is one of my strong points, and I know that. So I need to make sure I'm utilizing that to help our business, because I know we're Kevin and Linda work as a team, and I'm in it for myself, but this is really kind of a family thing. We all take really good care of each other, so I need to do my part too. So I can definitely commit to that, no problem.
Well, this will, so on this, you get to also put article contributed by, put your name, and then at the end of every single article, say if you're interested in having a consultation, or if you're still interested after reading this horrible letter on why it's so disgusting to live on a houseboat, feel free to call Brandon or to contact me, and then drive them to your scheduling system to say schedule a free consultation.
Yeah.
And if I don't answer, it's because I'm dealing with my dumb neighbors who brought over a bottle of wine.
There you go. Brandon, I can't even tell you, I was so, when my dad sent me the link, I just kind of put it on the side and I didn't read it because people send me their articles all the time wanting them to read it and no, it's not even fun. And I opened it up and I just glanced at it and then I took another glance and I was like, no way, this is great.
Good. Well, I'm glad you liked it. That means a lot to me, and yeah, I had fun writing it. It didn't take me much time at all.
That
Different attracts attention.
Yeah.
that normally I would never train somebody to write for SEO and for social media because those are two different brains. One is a very technical brain that writes for SEO, and one's a very creative brain that writes for social media. And you only need a couple technical changes, and you've got both, and that's killer. What you just did. I know you've woke up in the morning and you've said, God, I wish there were more of me, right? You just created another one of you because every one of the articles and videos that you post and you optimize it properly and you promote it on social media, every single one of those is essentially your sales presentation working for you day and night, 24/7 for the rest of your life. And the larger library of sales presentations, which is your voice communication that translates into text or video that you have out there, you are making more of yourself. Like right now, if I go to YouTube and whatever. So this is a market that I market to while I'm sleeping. There are videos, and videos, and videos that are out there working for me while I'm doing everything else. And that's what you want. Videos and articles that work for you while you do something different. That's great, great, great. Let's see here. So when you finish an article and you guys post it, from a technical standpoint, the next step, as long as it's related to a key phrase that's in your plan, then you either need to send it to Kevin or we need to add you to Basecamp. You're going to take that article, you're going to submit it to our SEO team, and you're going to tell them article ready for optimization. They will SEO the article on your website. They will take that article and they will start building backlinks from other websites to that article. So you've got a team of SEO engineers that are driving backlinks to that article to create more power and more strength behind it. I'll show you a sample. So you guys will have, let me go links, a link building team that when you create an article, they'll have a URL to that article, and they will start taking that article and they will start building backlinks. The more backlinks that you have to that article, the further that article will climb up in Google's ranking. So writing the article, all it does is get you in the drawer for that particular phrase. So this is bartending staff Austin. Taking that article and submitting hundreds of backlinks over time and having third-party websites with high page ranks point back to that article and reference it is what takes that article and it starts moving it up to the top of Google. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's all that is. You write an article, you label it properly, you're going to have a piece of paper in that drawer. In order to get it from the back of the drawer to the front of the drawer, we have to start building backlinks. And so that's why you always want to make sure the guys have a copy of that article, and that's what'll keep driving it up. Did I lose you guys?
Nope, we're here.
Okay. All right. So just in a nutshell, I'll go over just a couple things. One, you want to think of Google like a filing system. You gotta, if you want to get in a drawer, you have to have an article titled specifically based on what a consumer is looking for. The shorter the phrase, the harder the phrase is going to be for you to compete. The more number of pages in that drawer, the more difficult it's going to be for you to compete. And luckily, you're not doing this by yourself, and you're starting with Kevin and Linda, because starting by yourself means a long road to get where they are already at. So you're in a good position. Content, you're going to have seasonal changes. There are going to be also event-based changes. So you want to be watching the news. If something's happening in real estate and it's about a particular market or a new development or a new housing development or a new line of boats or something that is being driven by the news or media, you want to make sure and snag that opportunity to try and tailgate with whatever that opportunity presents. If you try and go after homes for sale in Seattle, for example, so we'll just go homes for sale in Seattle, you have 58.9 million pages to compete with. Now, if you say homes for sale in Queen Anne, now you have 533,000. Which one do you think you can get found for first? And I see who's working on that one. So you might not be able to beat Redfin or Zillow, but you can absolutely start getting into at least position number 2, 3, and so forth. You see on this particular post, you'll notice that the permalink, which is everything after the /, is what is driving this page to get in. So this is the page that they're putting in that drawer. This page is titled Queen Anne, Seattle, Washington. This page is titled Queen Anne, but they also put Queen Anne Homes for Sale, Queen Anne Hill Real Estate, and it's too long. You don't want the ... Here you'll see Queen Anne Real Estate. So if you have a website, but you don't have a page in that drawer specifically focused on the exact location and phrase that you want to get found for, then you're not even going to be in the drawer. So you want to build that up as much as possible. Same thing, if I say Beacon Hill, homes for sale in Beacon Hill, we have Redfin and Zillow. And then Realty, these guys are doing a killer. They've invested a tremendous amount in search engine optimization and content writing. But you can absolutely get into these buckets. If I go outside of Beacon Hill, and we'll go West Seattle. There's 13 million pages. You have Zillow, Realtor.com, and boom, this is the open market where you could start getting in. So the more specific you guys are right now in focusing on houseboats, the better. Then I would start moving into your waterfront, Lake Union. If you're doing that.
Well, one of the things we have to be careful with, and I've been talking a little bit about this, is don't pigeonhole yourself too much in the houseboat business because there's such a limited inventory. You run out of inventory, you've got nothing to sell.
Yep.
So you've got to branch out outside of the houseboat world, and that's one of the reasons why we're focusing, new tactics like Seattle real estate market.
Yeah, and your content and blogging strategy is going to really tie into the real estate company SEO strategy. So as the SEO strategy increases key phrases and moves into other areas, the content should follow.
And one of the things Jennifer was mentioning is really important, and that is the long tail phrases versus the short tail. So if your focus is on trying to corner the market on Seattle real estate, your odds are very, very slim that you're going to be able to do that successfully. But if you're going to try and corner the market on row houses in Ballard. You can nail that market completely.
Yeah, absolutely. This is 37 million competitors. This is 197,000.
And you notice even Zillow is not up there. Realtor is down like number 4. So, and row houses are hot. They're, one of the biggest things right now in sales are these row houses. Those are the ones where they build, 3 side by side, and they have reduced setback restrictions and relaxed height restrictions. So that would be, it's a big market, but it's a targeted market. It's something that you could focus on and nail.
That's pretty funny. Homes with pools for sale in Seattle, and Seattle House goes up.
You have personal set. You need to
Well,
set to private.
Seattle Homes, Century Caldwell Homes. For actually,
So, Brendan, what I just mentioned to her, you should realize this. It's a very important part of Google searches. When you're trying to determine your results of how well you're doing in your SEO efforts, you need to look at the top of Google, and there's 2 buttons there. One's a person, one's a world. You want to click that world, otherwise it's going to show results that are private to you. So, like if I'm looking, of course, Seattle Real Estate or realestatemarket.com and Seattle-Houseboat are going to show up first because they're private to me. But if you turn off that and set it to the world, then you'll see how everybody else sees your search.
so you want it to show currently hiding private results. That row houses was a good one. I think that was so easy because these guys don't have a attribute for a row house.
Yeah, and do it again for row house, with row house being one word. Yeah, so there is a Zillow now in Redfin, and here comes Cooper Jacobs. So row house, would be a great market to target. And Jen just had up, lofts in Seattle. That'd be another one that you can really narrow in on, although there's quite a bit of people that are focusing on those, and there's not very many lofts for sale in Seattle.
So
There are.
You guys,
Go ahead.
you guys can throw in, instead of going for Queen Anne, you can go Upper Queen Anne, Lower Queen Anne, use North, use South. If there is a development, if you want to focus on like Windhaven development in Renton or Redmond, you can also search by or go after a specific housing development. So you got to go out to your suburbs. You're not going to get that in Seattle, but if you go out to the Redmond area and you're looking for all the Microsoft crew or the places or the housing developments where all the Amazon people are staying, you can go by development as well. Because a lot of times those corporations, they'll occupy 60, 70% of an entire development. And those are easy opportunities to go after as well. So, owning page 1 results for a specific neighborhood is going to net you a whole lot more than being on page 5 of Google for an entire city. Make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
I think we lost Brandon.
Yeah, I think your microphone's off. So check on your cord. There's a mute button if that red light is on your
Okay, I'm back.
There you go.
It must have slipped off and hit me.
Yep.
So Brandon, part of this, I mean, definitely you guys nail the houseboats, and all the variations of houseboats. Start off with those, and then you want to strategize as a team. You guys will have a heck of a lot better results if you coordinate and collaborate, working on a specific area, or a couple specific phrases, and really try and get those ranked. Get them up to page one, make some money, then add some more. Get them up to page one, make some money, then add some more. So bootstrap it. It's like I said, it's better to be on a page one position 1 through 3 ranking than it is to, for 2 or 3 phrases than it is to be on page 5 for 10.
Right.
So you need a niche, and you need that niche to be the focus of what your blogs are going to be, and what your talks are going to be about, and key phrases, etc.
Okay. And I do need to work on my niche. I know that.
Now, we've got some great neighborhoods around here. We've got Fremont and Wallingford and Ballard, and if we can come up with some things that are unique in those locations and focus on those, then 1E in Fremont, Jen, then the odds are you can start generating that market, because when people search, they search for what it is they're looking for. They don't want to buy a house in Seattle. No, they're looking for something specific, a house with great walkability in Seattle. And, maybe that's your key, is you want to look for walkability. So those are narrowing down that search so you get the niche.
Right. So then you have a fighting chance of being relevant on the first page within the market.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got that. I'm understanding that. That's really, really cool. I never would have thought that.
So try and, when you're looking for key phrases, try and find phrases that the number of competitors is under 1 million, under 500,000 is even better. So if you think about this let me just show you how this works. So I just got done doing this with somebody else. So hang on, here comes, I gotta turn off my chat results because they're popping in crazy. Okay, so if there are more than 1 million competing pages, it could take you 9+ months if you have the SEO team working on that phrase with you to get ranked on a page one rank. If there are if there are 1 million pages, there's probably a heck of a lot more people searching for that phrase as well. So high competition yields high monthly searches, also will be high population. So if you look at the number of people in that particular area, it's probably a lot more. Medium competition, 500,000 to 1 million, also will yield less monthly searches, smaller population, but you'll get ranked faster. So you can get ranked on a page one listing in 3 to 9 months. For a low population, low competition, so you have 1,000 to 499,000 competitors in that drawer on Google, there's fewer searches, fewer competition, but you can get ranked and start generating leads in 3 months.
So what do you think is a good balance, Jen?
It depends on a lot of different things. I have companies that are, 10 million plus, and they may have 70% of their phrases in a high competition bucket because they've been with us for 10 years and they know that getting on a page one of Google for a very, very popular phrase yields them a lot of money. I have some that are startups that will spend 80% of their time trying to get ranked for these low phrases just to get enough cash flow that they can reinvest and add more phrases to the top ones. and everywhere in the middle. It depends on risk. In this one, you're investing time and money for a longer period of time before you see your net results, but when you get your net results, they're much higher. In this one, you're spending less money, less time before you have a return, and the return is smaller, but at least it gives you cash flow to invest in more competitive phrases.
Right.
So it's really just being, I mean, it depends. It really depends. I struggle with this in my own company. I'm probably equal across the board. I have phrases that I'm going after that are highly, highly competitive phrases. One of them that we were working on was getting found for marina web design. So this was one of those ones where I was like, well, there's 16.8 million, but I want this. So it took us probably 7 months and a lot of effort to get on page one, position 1 and 2. But once we hit a page one listing, the first marina prospect that came in through our lead form had a 6-figure budget for his website. So I'm good. Like,
Right.
totally cool with that. And we were able to beat out Marine Web Services, which that was your number one. So big effort, lots of time, resources, money, content, and so forth, but absolutely worth it.
Wow. Yeah, now you guys just have me thinking of my niche like I haven't thought of it yet.
Good. That's what we need.
Yeah.
Luckily, it's
Um,
all math.
what's that?
I said, luckily, it's all math.
Yeah, well, uh, that's funny. Oh, it's so cool.
So, Jen, it looks like your next client has arrived, and I think Brendan's got a bucket load to absorb. Let that sponge of his on top of his neck do its work, and he can start thinking through this and go for it.